End of round 5, the Germans got a bunch more infantry and artillery on Germany, and got a few tanks in Ukraine, took over Archangel as well as Bryansk, and landed a bunch of fighters there. They're on the gates of Moscow now, bulked up Denmark and Norway, with a bunch of infantry there, and moved a sub into C-Zone 112. For the Russians, bought a few AA guns and moved as many infantry as possible into Russia. Gonna try and take out as many Germans as possible, but I think there's too many Germans for the Russians to handle there. The Japanese got a couple more destroyers, a tank on Kwangtung, and a couple carriers in C-Zone 6. They took out right there, moved their fleet from Java to C-Zone 36 right there, and moved some units into Hunan, and moved some planes into Jehul. That's about it for them. The Americans sent down a bunch of destroyers and subs from C-Zone 10 to the Hawaiian Islands. That's all for the Pacific side, other than they sent 2 transports to Australia with a couple infantry and a couple mech infantry. And on the Europe side, got 5 more transports, 3 tanks, 2 artillery, and 5 infantry. Sent 4 of their transports into Norway, took that from the Germans, and sent a bomber into United Kingdom. That's all for the Germans, or United States. For the British, got a couple more transports off the coast of United Kingdom, moved their carrier from C-Zone 98 to 93, or 2. Got a couple more destroyers and a sub off the coast of Egypt, and some more tanks and a mech infantry in Persia. Sent a couple infantry into Caucasus, some tanks and mech infantry into northern Persia right there, and moved a carrier to C-Zone 38, and moved some more units into Burma. That's all for the British. The Italians got 4 infantry and an artillery, bulking up France and southern France, Italy. Moved their units from Greece into Bulgaria, and moved some units into Alexandria. Gonna try and threaten Egypt, but there's too many allies there. And for the Anzacs, got a destroyer and a transport. Attacked C-Zone 35 with the sub, took out the destroyer there, and attacked C-Zone 37, but lost a sub there and didn't kill the destroyer. And nothing for France. And that's the end of round 5. Will Russia hold? Find out next.
Battle for Moscow. The largest battle in this war so far. We'll see nearly 3 million men locked in combat. With Danny Davis, the conqueror of Paris, the savior of Minsk, and now the commander of 6th Army, leading the charge against Moscow, will face off against the Soviets' 42nd and 62nd Armies in defense. The 2 armies that stand between total Axis domination of Europe. As the Allies landed in Normandy, if the Soviets fail here, will be pushed back into the sea. This is the make or break for the Axis or Allies.
And round 6, the Germans got a bunch more infantry in Germany and some more artillery, a couple mechanized infantry in Romania, and a few tanks in Ukraine. They launched an attack against Russia. Here are the casualties for both sides. 3 tanks for Germany, 5 artillery, 12 infantry, 3 fighters, 1 attack bomber, and 1 strategic bomber. And for Russia, 4 AA guns, 26 infantry, 1 artillery, and 3 tanks. And Germany took it over with 6 tanks remaining there, sent a few AA guns in after them, sent a couple attack bombers back to Ukraine, and a strategic bomber back to Novgorod. And bulked up Denmark some more, and Norway. That's it for them. Russians sent their last remaining tank and mechanized infantry to Stalingrad with 6 infantry. That's all for them. The Japanese got a couple more destroyers and got another factory in Shanghai. Got another artillery in Kwangtung. Moved the Navy down to Sea Zone 36 and took out the Anzac sub in Sea Zone 37 and lost one to another Anzac sub in Sea Zone 35 and moved some more Navy into Sea Zone 6. And they did take out some Chinese in Yunnan, but lost that back to the British. That's about all for them. The Americans got a couple of destroyers and transport, and a guy in an artillery on the Pacific. Sent some destroyers and a sub to the Hawaiian Islands. Took out a Japanese sub in Sea Zone 6. Sent a couple transports down to Australia with a couple guys, mech infantry and artillery. And sent a couple transports to Borneo and the other island here. Took those away from Japan. And sent some fighters and attack bomber to Kazakhstan to help try and liberate Russia sometime soon. Down here in the Middle East, sent 5 transports, all loaded with artillery, tanks, and infantry to Morocco right there. And that's about it for up here. The British, they did buy an aircraft carrier, a fighter, and a battleship off the coast of Normandy. The British got some more artillery in Egypt, a tank and a couple mech infantry in Persia, and a couple more mech infantry and a tank in India. Took back Yunnan from the Japanese, sent some planes into Szechuan right there, and sent a few tanks and a couple mech infantry to Stalingrad, and some more units in to back them up. Sent a couple ships down here to help protect India from the Japanese. Sent a sub off the coast of Italy to cause some convoy disruption. Took over right there with the tank. Sent a couple destroyers in there to keep pressure on Italy not to buy any more fleet. And sent a couple fighters and a bunch of guys into Normandy to help the Americans there. Italy got 6 more infantry on southern Italy and sent some more units into France to try and keep that out of Allies' hands. That's it for the Italians. Anzacs got a couple more destroyers in Sea Zone 62. Moved a couple ships into Sea Zone 55 and sent a transport into Java with a couple guys sent a destroyer to try and protect that, or at least make Japan pay a little bit, and sent a few fighters and attack bomber to Samatria with more infantry. Gonna try and keep out Japan from these money islands best as we can. And France sent a couple infantry with the British tank, and that's all. Round 7 is coming up. Can we liberate Russia?